Greetings, everyone, and welcome to I Have the Right To, where you fill in the blank. And today's subject is going to be rules and regulations, procedure, wage records, and introduction to jurisdiction. This is short clip part 3. Let's go. So in the event that you have not taken the opportunity to watch the previous short clips, please ensure that you do. And let's continue. All right, everybody. So Article 1, Section 8, Clause 18 of the Constitution of the United States. You have Social Security Act. You have 42 U.S. Code, Chapter 7, Social Security. You have Subchapter 2, Federal Old Age Survivors and Disability Insurance Benefits. And you have 42 U.S. Code 405, Evidence, Procedure, and Certification for Payments. Letter A, Rules and Regulations, Procedures. We're going to focus right here. Okay, so here it says here, according to rules and regulations, procedures, the Commissioner of Social Security shall have full power and authority to make rules and regulations and to establish procedures not inconsistent with the provisions of this subchapter. We're going to go ahead and emphasize by highlighting this in red. We got to pay close attention to this portion right here, okay? Let's continue. Which are necessary or appropriate to carry out such provisions, and shall adopt reasonable and proper rules and regulations to regulate and provide for the nature and extent of the proofs and evidence and the method of taking and furnishing the same in order to establish the right to benefits hereunder. And again, the subchapter that the aforesaid law is referring to is Subchapter 2, Federal Old Age Survivors and Disability Insurance Benefits, located within Chapter 7 of Title 42, U.S. Code. Okay, so let's direct our attention to wage record. Wage record. Okay, so it says here, it is the policy of the United States that any state or political subdivision thereof may, in the administration of any tax, general public assistance, driver's license, or motor vehicle registration law within its jurisdiction, utilize the Social Security account numbers issued by the Commissioner of Social Security for the purpose of establishing the identification of individuals affected by such law. And we're going to go ahead and emphasize this part here, and that is why it is in red, okay? Let's continue. And may require any individual who is or appears to be so affected to furnish to such state or political subdivision thereof, or any agency thereof, any administrative responsibility for the law involved, the Social Security account number or numbers, if he has more than one such number issued to him by the Commissioner of Social Security. So everyone, we need to pay close attention to what Congress has stated here regarding said law. Okay, this is extremely important here. So now we need to figure out whether or not state is being utilized accordingly, okay? The term state, and does it actually applies accordingly, okay? Let's find out. The term state mentioned in 42 U.S. Code 405 C2C refers to state as defined in 402 U.S.C. 40539. So let's take a look. The term state means the several states of the United States, the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, the United States Virgin Islands, Guam, American Samoa, and the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands. Okay, so please pay close attention, whereas the foregoing term is subject to that particular subparagraph and not Subchapter 2, Federal Old Age Survivors and Disability Insurance Benefits, located within Chapter 7 of Title 42 U.S. Code. State, 42 U.S. Code 40539. Here it is. This is not my opinion. This is not a presumption or assumption. Okay, this is what Congress stated, and not this. And just to be on the safe side, let's look at a Supreme Court decision. Where Congress includes particular language in one section of a statute but omits it in another, it is generally presumed that Congress acts intentionally and purposely in the disparate inclusion or exclusion. In other words, this particular language has been omitted, okay? It is not a part of the term, all right? Let's read it for what it is. This is not my assumption, presumption, or opinion, all right? If you have a degree, it has no force and effect regarding this subject matter. It does not matter what is the degree, okay? It doesn't matter. It does not matter whatsoever. If you have an issue with this, take it up with Congress, take it up with the Supreme Court, take it up with the governor of that particular state, and take it up with the state legislature, okay? Let's continue. So the term United States mentioned in 42 U.S. Code 405 C2C refers to the United States as defined in 42 U.S. Code 1301A2. All right. So when used in a geographical sense means except where otherwise provided, the states. All right. The states. United States, everyone. This is the United States. Right here. United States. Again, this is not my assumption, presumption, or opinion. It is not. If you have a degree, it has no force and effect when it comes to this information whatsoever. If you can read, you can read. If you can't read for some obvious reason, it is what it is. But all I am doing is bridging the gap as it pertains to said information. And not this. And once again, let's take a look at a Supreme Court decision. The law of the land. When a statute includes an explicit definition, we must follow that definition, even if it varies from that term's ordinary meaning. In other words, this is not the explicit definition mentioned in 42 U.S. Code 40539. It is not. If you have an issue with this, take it up with Congress, take it up with the Supreme Court regarding said matter. Take it up with the governor of that state, take it up with the legislature of the state regarding said matter. I don't have a problem with this. This is what the law says. We cannot cherry pick what laws to follow and what laws not to follow. Can't do it. It's crazy. Okay, so once again here, you guys, we're back here at wage records. We're going to emphasize on the green portion where it states tax, general public assistance, driver's license, or motor vehicle registration law within its jurisdiction. So this is the time we need to talk about the jurisdiction here. So the key to understanding the previous slide is understanding jurisdiction. All right, so it's time to initiate a jurisdiction fact check. All right, so let's take a closer look at territorial jurisdiction. All right, you guys, so please take the time to pause this video here so you can read the aforesaid, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and continue. Okay, let's continue. So the first question is, what territorial area or territorial jurisdiction is the Social Security card and or Social Security number subject to? It's right here. 42 U.S. Code 40539 state regarding wage records. Okay? Wage records. Again, this is not my assumption, presumption, or opinion. If you have a degree, it has no force and effect. You should be able to read this as is. This is what Congress says. This is what Congress says. And not this. Common sense. Once again, Supreme Court decision, law of the land. As a rule, a definition which declares what a term means excludes any meaning that is not stated. And guess what? This meaning is excluded as it is not stated. I didn't make this up. I did not make this up. If you have an issue, once again, take it up with Congress, take it up with the Supreme Court, take it up with the governor of the state, take it up with the legislature of the state. Next, what territorial area or territorial jurisdiction are you required to reside for the purpose of meeting the minimum requirements of obtaining a Social Security card and or being assigned a Social Security number? Well, of course, as it relates to the what? Wage records. It's right here, everybody. Right here, as it relates to wage records. It's right here, 42 U.S. Code 40539. Again, Congress put this in place. I didn't. This is not my opinion, presumption, or assumption. And not this. Read, people, read. And just in case, once again, this meaning is excluded as it is not stated, backed by the law of the land, i.e. Supreme Court decision. Once again, if you have an issue with anything that is being presented, take it up with Congress, take it up with the Supreme Court, take it up with the governor of that state, take it up with the legislature of the state. All right. So let's go ahead and read this here. The following is explicitly stated. It is the policy of the United States that any state or political subdivision thereof may, in the administration of any tax, general public assistance, driver's license, or motor vehicle registration law within its jurisdiction, utilize the Social Security account numbers issued by the Commissioner of Social Security for the purpose of establishing the identification of individuals affected by such law. Question: what United States and state is this necessary and proper law referring to? And once again, 42 U.S. Code 40539. This is what Congress stated. This is not my opinion, presumption, or assumption. This is what Congress stated. And not this. And once again, Supreme Court decision, where Congress includes particular language in one section of a statute but omits it in another, it is generally presumed that Congress acts intentionally and purposely in the disparate inclusion or exclusion. In other words, this particular language has been omitted. If you have an issue with this, take it up with Congress, take it up with the Supreme Court, take it up with the governor of the state, take it up with the legislature of the state. Yes, I know we have not been taught this information in school. I am fully aware of it. I am fully aware of it, and I am bringing this matter to your attention. No exceptions, no excuses. All right? Again, it does not matter what degree you have. It has no force and effect. You must be able to read as is, comprehend what it is saying. This is not something that I'm making up. The second on the list is personal jurisdiction in personam jurisdiction. So once again, you guys, please go ahead and take the time to pause this video to read what is on the screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue and read the next one. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so as it relates to the Social Security card and or Social Security number, there is a serious requirement that a state and United States must satisfy prior to obtaining jurisdiction in personam over a person. A state and United States must be located in the same territorial area or territorial jurisdiction of the Social Security Administration, wherein said administration is located in a state as defined in 42 U.S. Code 40539, as, of course, subject to a paragraph. This is as it relates to wage records, of course. United States as defined in 42 U.S. Code 130182, the person must also be located in the same territorial area or territorial jurisdiction as described above. As it relates to the Social Security card and or Social Security number, there is a serious requirement that a person must satisfy prior to being subject to jurisdiction in personam. A person must be located in the same territorial area or territorial jurisdiction of the Social Security Administration, wherein said administration is located in a state as defined in 42 U.S. Code 40539, subject to subparagraph. United States is defined in 42 U.S. Code 1301A2. The third on the list is subject matter jurisdiction. And at this present time, there is no need to speak on this particular topic. The bottom line, without territorial jurisdiction and jurisdiction in personam or similar, it is impossible to acquire subject matter jurisdiction or similar. Okay, so again, we've just gone over the wage records. Okay, so are you starting to get the picture? If not, please review this as well as the previous clips a couple of times. People, this is very, very important, okay? Very important that you take the time to read what is being presented to you and understand and comprehend what is being presented to you, okay? Seriously, take the time to go ahead and review the previous clips. It'll definitely benefit you in the long run. Okay, and also stop being delusional and face the facts. Once again, if you have any issues with anything that I'm presenting to you, please take it up with Congress, take it up with the Supreme Court, take it up with the governor of the state, take it up with the legislature of the state. This is not my assumption, presumption, or opinions. If you have a degree or degrees, it has no force and effect regarding what's being presented to you. It is what it is. Okay, so once again, thank you for attending. I have the right to where you fill in the blank. Subject is Social Security Blueprint, short clip part 3, rules and regulations, procedure, wage records, and introduction to jurisdiction. You guys, so please share this information with our youth, whereas they also have the right to full disclosure. This concludes short clip part 3. Please make your way to short clip part 4 once it is available, you guys. And thank you so much for your support. Peace and love.